Okay, now another way to put an image into a screen is to use a stencil. Now, this is, a typical stencil. It's a commercial stencil. And with a stencil, what that essentially is that you have these open areas that you're going to be printing. And essentially, you're going to be printing these broad pieces of color. So to make an open stencil, to make your own, this is just called stencil film. Again, you can get this at any craft store, and it's easy to cut. You can either use an X-Acto knife to cut the stencil film with, or you can use what's called a heat wand. A heat wand has a curved edge on it, so that way when it's warm, you'll put it on the material and then the heat softens it, and then you can slowly move. Now, the difference between using a heat wand and an X-Acto knife is that with the X-Acto knife, you're mostly going to get these, very straight lines and angular corners. With a heat wand, it allows you to be a little bit more fluid, to make more curves, or to make smaller areas that are a little bit more difficult to do with a knife. Now, when you're making a stencil, the thing to remember is if you're cutting one, you have to basically make a maze. Your finger has to be able to travel over all these solid areas. So what that means is that you're always going to have certain areas touching each other. So you can't have what's considered a floating image. So these circles here, they're not floating out in space. They're connected by this straight piece of material. So this is the advantage now of using screening, is because I can use this product that's called Adhesive Stencil Film. So stencil film gives me an opportunity now to still cut a stencil image, but not have to have these connectors in between to keep my images there. So when you buy stencil film, it's an adhesive vinyl sticker, essentially. So you'll draw an image on here, and then with an X-Acto knife, you'll cut that image out. Now, as this peels off, any imagery that I had cut here would fall away. So the way to keep that from falling away is that it also comes with clear vinyl as well. So what I did for this particular image is I just wanted to sort of have these bursts of rays going on. So wherever I have this pencil mark here, these are the areas I'm going to peel away. Now what I did is I cut the stencil film the size of my screen, and then where my bars are here, that's where I then decided how far to bring this in. So, this is it's a picture plane. This is my printable area. So if I put this on this flat surface, when I put this down, you can see that, I left a little bit of a border on the inside, so that way when I tape this up, the tape isn't going to encroach on my image. So once I had the image complete, then with an X-Acto knife, I just went in and cut out all my areas. Now, you want to be careful that you don't cut all the way through. You are going to make some indentations in this backing paper, but you don't want to actually cut a void out. So now that I have this cut, I'm ready to take this and put it onto my screen. And I'm simply going to lift out the areas that I cut. Now, as you're pulling it up, if there's some areas that are not coming up neatly, you can still use your X-Acto knife and kind of carve those in. Then just peel it off nice and slow. Okay, so now I'm ready to adhere this on to the screen. So now that I have this cut to approximately the same size, I'll peel off this clear piece of vinyl. And again, this is just a clear sticker. And then what I want to do is start on one end and then flop it down. If I go straight down, sometimes I'll catch little bubbles and things like that into the film. And you can lay it down. Now I do have a little crease in here, so I just can come back now to the other side and push that out. And just because of the nature of the material, sometimes it is difficult to get every little pocket out, but what you're trying to avoid is having a big air bubble in there. Now once I have this in here, then I want to rub it just a little bit. Now, especially down in here where all these pieces are very fine, I want to rub that so that way when I peel the backing paper off, that this doesn't release. So I'll rub it just a little bit, just to make sure it's sticking well. Then I'll flip it over. Now I can pull off the white backing paper. And when I peel this off, I tend to peel straight across. I try not to lift up because if sometimes I'm lifting up like this, sometimes it does pull up some of my sticker below. So this way, if I pull slowly and to the side, it helps keep everything in place. Okay, so now that that's removed, what I like to do is take one of the backing paper that I took off the clear vinyl, because this has a smooth side on it and a dull side. So the smooth side, once I put the sticker on here, I can use it on this side now to rub the surface, sort of like burnishing. So now that I have my sticker on here, now I am going to take this and put it straight down on here. So, I'm working on a flat surface. This is nice and flat on that surface. So when I just go straight down on here, what I can do, it makes it easier for me to line this up. Now also I'm looking at my edges as well. This is cut to the perimeter of this, so I can kind of look at my edges and know that it's correct. Now I can take a little look up front, so everything is on here. So now I'll just use this and rub the back. Now the pressure that I'm applying to the back of this is what's getting the sticker to stick to the screen. Now anywhere that I have, smaller areas, that's where I really want to press down just a little bit harder to make sure that it's really sticking, because that's a really small part. So that's only a little bit of adhesive touching the screen. So I want to make sure that it's a really good connection there. Now I'm going to peel off this top sticker. So just double, for safety, double check this outside part. Now, same thing, I want to peel it, coming across the surface, and I want to, bring it slow as well. Because what I'm trying to do is be careful not to lift up any of the yellow vinyl part. And then you're just simply taking the tape, and then this is still right in the border, so half of it is on the face, then half of it folds over. Now sometimes what I'll do is I will use an X-Acto knife, and I'll come in and I'll cut right in that corner, so that way it gives me the ability to just lay that over flat and lay that over flat. So it gives me a cleaner corner. And then I would just repeat that on all these corners until it's, the frame is full. When it's complete, I'll just have the entire border, overlap, so some is on the screen and some is on the wall. And then I typically go ahead and finish the whole frame off so it's completely sealed. Now, using the painter's tape, again, when I clean these screens out after I use them, I don't typically hold them under the faucet to rinse things out. So I just use a sponge to take out the materials.